Sir Guy de la Réole reined in his horse and held his right hand up to halt the column of men behind him. He stretched his back, for he had ridden too far on this long chevauchée. They had ridden since dawn, using a circuitous route to avoid being seen, and although they now had only a few miles to go, they had used all the cover that they could to avoid detection. It had made the short journey of a few miles seem much longer, as they wished to arrive unseen and unheralded. In surprise lay their best chance of success. Behind him, his men took the opportunity to drink from their wineskins. These were Gascons and not English. They were rarely far from a vineyard, and wine was preferable to water in this land. They were professional soldiers, and even when they drank, their eyes ranged around them as they sought danger. They were the mien of Sir Guy, but as he was a landless knight, he was not yet rich. The result was that but 3 had mail hauberks, while the others wore a variety of padded jackets covered by a tunic. That the tunic bore no design was deliberate. Sir Guy liked the anonymity of his work in the pay of the Lieutenant of Aquitaine Simon de Montfort, the Earl of Leicester. The helmets were also as individual as the owners. Some still wore the helmet with the nasal, while some had adopted the round helmet with a visor. 2 of them just wore a coif over an arming cap. Their opposition often did not necessitate more. They carried lances, which were long wooden weapons with a steel head. Their shields were flat-topped kite shields and hung over their left legs. They would not be needing them. The scuffed leather covers might have once displayed a design, but no longer. It was their swords, clubs, and maces that showed them for what they were. Raiders. This would be their last raid. There was not an ounce of nobility between them, and that included Sir Guy. The Seneschal of Gascony, Simon de Montfort, chose men like Sir Guy because they were discreet. He allowed them to punish the seigneurs, the lords of Gascony, for that served his own ends. Sir Guy did not know what those ends were, but he enjoyed the freedom to raid and pillage, knowing that no one would seek retribution. The other villages and hamlets had been small, but they had secured both food and coin for Sir Guy and his men. This would be their biggest payday. Saint-Séverin was a rich manor. It was rich because the people were peaceable, grew crops, raised animals, and made fine wine. It also had a castle. Admittedly, it was a simple keep and there was no wall around it, but if the Gascons had warning of their approach, then the taking of it would be harder. Sir Guy intended to surprise them. Sir Guy and his squire Lawrence, in contrast to their men, did wear a design. Their tunics and shields bore the 3 red chevrons on a blue background with 3 gold stars. As the 3rd son of the Seigneur of La Réole, he was entitled to wear it, and he had hopes that one day his elder brothers would die and he would inherit the lands for which he yearned. There was no love lost between Sir Guy and his brothers, and he and his father hated each other.